The following is a presentation of the Spartan Media Network.
This is the Kristen Kelsay Show.
Quick in the middle, chicken wing tip, blocked by Susana Kolik. Pin to pin for Kristen. Guzova, that's a serious stuff. It's a victory for MSU.
The Kristen Kelsay Show is presented by One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great on the Spartan Media Network. The Kristen Kelsay Show is also brought to you by Farm Bureau, Michigan's insurance company, MSU FCU. Spartan fans dream big with MSU Federal Credit Union. Meyer, supporting hundreds of sports teams across the Midwest. And Alumni Hall, your ultimate Spartan shopping experience. Now with head coach Kristen Kelsay, here's your host, John Kreger.
Hello all and welcome to the Coach Kristen Kelsay Show presented by One North Kitchen and Bar. We are live at One North Kitchen and Bar in East Lansing. If you want to join our audience for any of the MSU Coaches shows, make your reservation by emailing coachesshows@onenorthdining.com. I am not John Kreger, sorry to disappoint, but John will be here momentarily. There's actually an accident on the freeway he's not involved in, but he is making his way over through the traffic. We're going to be having John here in a little bit. But the good news, you still got the star of the show, Kristen Kelsay. Give her a nice warm welcome, everybody.
Well, thank you, Dalton. Thanks for having me, and thanks for being here. Thanks for stepping in.
I was going to say, I don't know if John could have picked a better one for me to fill in on because vibes are pretty high right now around the volleyball program. And why don't we start there?
Yeah.
We had the ranked win, not just win, a sweep for the Spartans over number 20 Indiana just this past weekend. Winning at 3 sets, set 1, 25-21, set 2, 25-19, set 3, 25-18. First ranked win in a little while, first ranked win sweep for Michigan State in a little while. Before we get your thoughts on this, Kristen, let's hear how it sounded on our radio network with the voice John Kreger when MSU beat Indiana.
Serve on the way, bending ball, sideline right, wide! There it is! Victory for MSU! The Hoosiers are unbeaten in the conference no more. And Kristen Kelsay has her first win over a ranked opponent here at the Breslin Center.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the ending. Yeah.
John's energy is just unmatched, man. It's the best. He's the best.
He is. And that's what we still got John he's making his way over here physically. But that moment and that sweep, take us through what the feeling was for you and this team.
I love this team because they're just so ready for every match that we play, right? Every match is a new match. And I really don't think that they come in with any preconceived notions of any team. And I think our staff does a really good job of helping them stay present, right? And them helping them focus on one play at a time and one team at a time and one moment at a time. And I think because of that, it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the net. We know we're trying to play Spartan volleyball and we're trying to defend, right? Maybe their offense for Indiana, right? Or do certain scouting report things, but we really try to stay focused on who we are and how we play and what our strengths are in defending them. And so I think you've seen that where we're pretty consistent in who we are, especially when we play well, that it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the net, whether we're playing Michigan in the Breslin Center or on the road at Northwestern or home against Indiana. And I'm really proud of them for having that maturity and that focus.
Well, you brought up Michigan too, and that's another one we're going to be talking about. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and unload the audio we got. We also have John Kreger's final call as Michigan State beat rival Michigan. Take it away, John.
Served by Johnson on the way, sideline right. Bianca to Long to Bianca for the match. Yeah! Victory for MSU.
Love it. That's so good. Sometimes, when we switch sides on set 2, he's typically right behind me. And there's times where I can hear him and it's awesome. I love it. And I'm like, oh, the other opposing coach can also hear him at times. So
you got a little bit of an advantage in that.
I hope so. Yeah, we'll take everything we can get here, Dalton.
Well, you talk about that win over Michigan and what a neat moment this was. I mean, for you back in your first year, as you're a Spartan through and through, you wore the colors, you know what it's like to coach in this game. Besides the win, we could talk about the win afterwards.
Yeah.
But to be involved in this rivalry game again, what was that experience like?
Yeah, it's honestly never left me. At every school I've been at, like I've always, Michigan week is a big week, right? And they have to learn. That's just part of my being and part of my identity. You know, Minnesota, they're like, okay. I'm like, we hate Michigan, okay? But I have a lot of respect for Aaron, and I have a lot of respect for the program. You know, Allison Jacobs is a really, really good player who we had to scout against, pretty tough. And so I was excited for it to be in the Breslin Center. I was really excited for it to be after the Minnesota loss, because I knew our team, they always respond, and the way that they've learned throughout our non-conference. And I was excited because Minnesota taught us some things that we weren't good enough at yet, and that we had maybe gotten away with in our non-conference schedule, and how quickly they were able to take what we learned at Minnesota, you know, making too many errors or some defensive positioning, and 48 hours playing our rival at home and make those changes in order to have that success was a huge step for our program. And so no matter who it was against, right, I was proud of the way the team responded. But then for it to be a sweep, you know, of Michigan at Breslin was just the cherry on top.
Well, and let's talk about the environment real quick before we take a break, because following along to listening to John throughout the game and seeing the clips later of what it was like with the flags maybe courtside waving and the environment, what the Breslin was for that game against Michigan, how special was that?
It was so special. I mean, our crowd we had over 5,000 people there. The student section, right, filled almost a third of the lower bowl, and the band, and it was a really special night. Again, just for these young women, right, to show them that volleyball matters and that all the hard work matters. And so to have the crowds, yes, it's awesome for it to be loud and for it to, you know, be hard for the other team to play. But most importantly, it showing up for them and being there for their success and in the losses, just reminds them of that their hard work and their vulnerabilities and what they do every day matters to this community and matters to the state and matters to the volleyball world. And so that was really special for us to be able to display some really quality volleyball and some awesome opportunity to live our values in front of such a crowd.
And it's led to a great start. 14-2 on the season as your Michigan State volleyball team. 4-2 in the Big Ten. That is the best start, folks, to conference play through the first 6 conference matches since 2017. That's how special of a start it's been. Absolutely clap it up, your Michigan State volleyball team. And when we return, we'll talk a little bit more about some of the things maybe you learned from the adversity and the loss to Minnesota and how you bounce back in such a great way. Hey, Spartan fans, Abbott and the Big Ten are back with the We Give Blood Drive. Show up to donate blood to help your school win $1 million for student or community health. Score limited edition Michigan State tee and save lives. Go to big10.org/Abbott to get in the game. This is the Kristen Kelsay Show presented by One North Kitchen and Bar here on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least consulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Show and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North Kitchen and Bar, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, save time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Hey, Spartan fans, you've got the chance to stay up to date with the latest happenings in Spartan volleyball this season and hear them straight from the coach's mouth. This is the voice of Spartan volleyball, John Kreger. Join me and new head coach Kristen Kelsay for the Kristen Kelsay Radio Show. Check out the Kristen Kelsay Radio Show schedule under the Coaches Radio Shows tab at msuspartans.com.
Welcome back to the Coach Kristen Kelsay Show, presented by One North Kitchen and Bar. Again, filling in for John Kreger, who is en route. We'll be having John here shortly. I'm Dalton Shetler. Glad to be with you all here today. Auto Owners Insurance, simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you. Okay, we talked about a lot of great things for this volleyball program to start, because how can you not be excited about the 14-2 start for Michigan State volleyball? But Kristen, you had mentioned something in that previous segment that your team learned some things in the loss. I mean, there's only been 2 losses to this point, but the loss to Minnesota gave your team and your program an opportunity to learn and bounce back from. What were those things? And from everybody I talked to, you love to use the word resiliency with this ball club.
Yeah.
And for them to answer that way, you got to be pretty proud of that.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at both, the Minnesota and the Illinois losses, really proud of their response and their resiliency, and they're learning, honestly. Like, this team allows our staff to coach them. They really do. And they don't fight back and they don't get defensive. They are okay with us saying, hey, we are not good enough in this area and we need to get better. And we did that against Minnesota, particularly our errors, right? We made a lot of errors that I think we had maybe gotten away with the non-conference. And then Minnesota was like, nope, that's not going to happen in the Big Ten, right? Responded, right? Beat Michigan, beat Northwestern. Then we dropped a heartbreaker to Illinois. I mean, that second set in Illinois, we scored 24 points, right? We lost 24-26. We killed 21 balls. 21 balls. 21 of our 24 points were our kills, right? But again, we let them hit 450, and our block and our defense in that match was not, I mean, we still hit like 300, right? Offensively, we were great, but we couldn't slow them down. Both their outsides hit over 300. It's like, hey, you're not going to win any Big Ten games. I don't care who you play if you allow both outside attackers to hit over 300. And so that last week, we had a really, I would say, tough week of practice, a very sides to under 100. And so to see them respond so quickly, right? 3 days of practice later, I was really, really proud of them.
It's interesting, Kristen, and this is a conversation that I think transcends just a single sport, but there's a lot of conversation about college athletics today, and, of course, negativity with where you're talking portal, NIL, whatever, and there's a lot of terms, and maybe it carries a bad stigma, but coaches get into coaching to impact and change people. And when you're talking about your group being a group that is so resilient, takes coaching, is accountable, every characteristic you've thrown at them, I imagine this is the type of group that makes you happy that you chose this as a profession.
Yeah, and I get emotional sometimes with this group. There's no one I'd rather walk into battle with than these people, And I told them against Indiana, I said, we're going to win some matches because of who you are, because of how you play for each other and how you represent the Spartan family. And I said, and that doesn't mean we're going to win because we're good people, right? We're going to have to outplay some good volleyball, right? We're going to have to execute tonight and stay disciplined. But there will be moments in matches where you're going to be tested. And because of your ability to live our values and stay together and fight for each other, you will win. And that doesn't happen on every team I've been on, nor every team I've coached.
Well, and let's talk about this too, because of course, all this being mentioned, a lot of people here in the building, of course, know, but if there are listeners who may not be aware, this is year 1 for you here back in East Lansing as the head coach, and you've gotten things rolling here a little bit. Talking about the Kristen Kelsay culture and what your vision is for this program and its culture, how it's already gotten to a certain bar, but what does that look like for Kristen Kelsay?
Yeah, I mean, it was a really great, difficult transition, right? Coming from the associate head at Minnesota, having worked at 3 other Big Ten schools, been around a lot of different coaches, that when I took the job and was in the interview process, was just like, who is Michigan State volleyball going to be under me? Not who was it under Kathy, not what did Keegan, what do I take for him or Shane or my club year, but like, who am I and who is this program going to be and what do I believe that it can be? And I picked 5 core values for our program, whether you're a player, a staff, a coach, that if you join our program, you're of values. And now we don't publicize them, right? They're pretty in-house, but they're none of them are about blocking and digging balls, right? They're all about building the character of these young women and their commitment to this program. And, one of them is the Spartan family. And in the really hard moments, we're going to be grateful for the experience that we have. And we're going to represent this community, these alumni, this athletic department with pride in how we play. And that doesn't mean we're going to win every match, but I want people to walk into Breslin and say, no matter what happens, I'm proud to be part of this volleyball program. And I'm proud of the way that they fight, and they fight for each other, and the way that they're respectful and they compete. And that's how we're going to build this foundation. And now finding success within that, awesome. But most importantly, that we live our values every day.
Folks, how do you not love that as an answer? I mean, that is simply tremendous. By the way, one of the players that we've talked about will actually join us up a little bit later will be Leah Schneider. She is in the building.
Yes,
so we'll be joined by her.
We'll
also be joined by assistant coach Matt Jackson a little bit later on as well. Real quick, before we get to a timeout, if we ask you about a couple of individuals that have really been impressive so far, Kristen, Malaya Long. Big Ten Freshman of the Week, reigning Big Ten Freshman of the Week, the second time she's had that honor bestowed upon her. What have you seen from Malaya that's allowed her to be as successful in 1 year as she has been?
Yeah, just her growth, right? She's an athlete who is just not complacent with anything, nor do I let her be complacent, to be honest, with anything. But the level of trust that her and I have is again, she allows me to coach her and coach her hard, whether that's her set location, right? Being a setter is so hard, man. I mean, I can give her feedback on anything. And I tell my staff, I say, Matt, I want to comment on her defense. Do not let me talk to her about her defense, because I'm talking to her about every other thing in this practice, right? But her location, her decision-making, and then her leadership. And to watch her, I think anyone who here has been at a match has seen the way that she commands our court, and we have our leadership council, now about, halfway through the season. We did an exercise with our team, and she was chosen for our staff and our players to be on that leadership council, and to be a real redshirt freshman playing in your first collegiate matches, and to have the respect and the trust of your teammates. She's only been here since June, but you see it out there, right? You see that level of competitiveness, right? You see that will to win, and you also see that love and trust in her teammates. And she wants to be great, and she's not afraid to be coached and to work hard and to have that growth, which you've seen now since our first couple of matches, to her leading our team on Sunday against Indiana.
The other player I want to mention here real quick and pick your brain on, Bianca Munselar, the progress that she's shown. What's really stood out to you about her?
Just her presence, right? Like one thing I really value about Bianca is that she is who she is, and her role has grown so much, right? 3 or 4 weeks ago, she's not even starting for us, right? And now she's, having 13, 15 kills a set. And yet her demeanor in practice, her work ethic in practice, who she is, how she's gone about her business has not changed, regardless of her not starting and playing versus her being our starting 01 right on Sunday. And that consistency from a young person is maybe a little unique, right? And so, her transition from a different country, coming in 3 weeks late to season, and just her ability to show up every day as who she is and work hard and be coached and make changes. You're seeing the progress, her passing, right? Her serving, you're seeing in all phases grow. And that's because she's here for it. And it's really impressive for like an international student athlete who's still learning how to go to class, and learning the language and learning the conference schedule, and who is Indiana and where are they on the map, right? It's pretty special, and I'm really, really proud of her.
That is really something special, and it's been a lot of fun to see from afar as Michigan State again 14-2 on the season. When we come back, we're going to be talking with assistant coach Matt Jackson. We're live from Lansing with the head coach of the Spartans, Kristen Kelsay. Our show is presented by One North Kitchen and Bar. You're listening to the Kristen Kelsay Show.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
spartanvalleyballs.com/community.
Sometimes we're asked if you need to be a Spartan to be a member of Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. The answer is no. To be an MSU FCU member, you just need 3 things. 1, you love saving money and earning cash back. 2, you have a passion for supporting your community, just like we do. 3, when it comes to your future, you prefer to dream big. If this sounds like you, visit msufcu.org to get started. Of course, if you want to cheer on MSU, we're totally on board with that too. Go green.
Farm Bureau Insurance invites you inside the green for an exclusive dinner with basketball coach Tom Izzo. This unique experience includes a private dinner for 1 winner and 3 guests with Coach Izzo. The winner also receives a private tour of the Breslin Center, an autographed basketball from Coach, tickets to a future home game, and more. For more details and to register, visit InsideTheGreenSweeps.com. Farm Bureau Insurance, proud sponsor of Michigan State Athletics.
Hey, Spartan fans, this is the voice of Spartan Volleyball, John Kreger. Join me all season long as the Spartan Media Network serves up another exciting year of Spartan Volleyball action.
Serve on the way by Stanishevska. Let's serve, overpass, Mumchalar, count it!
You can tune in to Spartan at MSUSpartans.com by downloading the MSU Athletics app on your smartphone.
We are back live on the Kristen Kelsay Show, presented by One North Kitchen and Bar. Again, thank you all for coming out here and joining us for the Kristen Kelsay Show. Did get a late text from John Kreger just a few moments ago, who I'm filling in for. He is really close by. So We're going to have John here in just a moment. We know we love John's energy, so we'll be hearing from the voice of Spartan Volleyball in a moment. But now joining us up on the stage, we have assistant coach Matt Jackson. Give him a nice warm welcome, everybody. Let's start off this conversation with Matt. Actually, with you, Kristen.
Okay.
How did you find Matt and bring him to East Lansing as he's now in year 1 under your staff?
Yeah, I did not know Matt. And it was, I was looking for a 3rd assistant for our staff, right? Hiring was a really hard part. I think I've shared that, right? Of being an assistant coach. You don't get to just bring your whole staff with you, right? You have to go out and find staff. So I hired, 6 people in our staff, and knew that last spot, I had a lot of different names, and nobody that I felt really strongly about. Had some interview processes. And it wasn't until maybe March that I had a couple of my mentors and friends say, hey, do you know Matt, at Winter Park? And I was like, I don't. I know his kids. His kids are really, really good, but I don't know him. And they're like, you should give him a call. And so it was really my only cold call on our staff to someone that I didn't know very well, and has worked out fantastic. And I'm so grateful that he said yes and came to East Lansing.
Well, Matt, what was that experience like from your end?
Yeah, it was eventful. I mean, it was I've been club in high school the whole time, and then just kind of had this idea a little bit over a year ago. It's like, hey, if it ever came up and it made sense, I'd entertain it. And a mutual friend and college coach put us together.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing left to another, as probably everyone sitting here knows. Once you talk to Kristen, you're gonna want to keep talking and keep listening. And,
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It was fun process.
Well, and Matt, of course, as we've talked a little bit about here, Coach Club from Florida.
Yep.
From Florida, came up here to Michigan, which that's got to be a little bit jarring.
It's a little cold today.
Okay, he moved here in July. He has no idea, guys. He has no idea. So it's not even that bad, right? It's not that bad. No.
Are you prepared?
Nope.
Do you know what a Carhartt is?
Nope.
No. Well, we've got some work to do to get you ready for the winter ahead.
Yeah.
We'll have to check in with you after the first snowfall.
Yeah.
But also, saying that, coming from Florida, you never had coached collegiate volleyball, correct?
Correct.
What's this experience been like, thrusting to the collegiate level?
No, it's been great. It's been great. It's been totally different. I mean, it's fun to show up every day with, like-minded people to work with, and then a crew, a team of girls that show up and really work hard every day. They listen, as we've touched on, they respond. And then when the lights turn on, they compete, and then the lights are bright and we get better. And it's fun to be a part of, and it's fun to watch, and definitely fun to coach in.
It continues, right? We talk about the culture, and it feels like it's radiated from staff to players and everybody involved. Kristen, do you mind explaining to everybody what Matt's roles are on staff, what maybe he specifically is designated to?
Yeah. So Matt, it was important to my staff that we're really collaborative. I didn't want us really siloed, right? So like Dan does recruiting, but he also coaches part of our offense, right? And Kirsty is with our blocking, but Matt's with defense. So they work together and I just get to pop in wherever I want to, and I've got the setters primarily. So the first couple of weeks of preseason in camp, it was like, I'm not going to denote titles. Let's just see where our eyes go and let's see where we have relationships. And Matt is a volleyball, I want to use the word nerd. I'm not going to use the word nerd.
Guru.
But
Guru.
yeah, Matt knows the game. And that's part of the reason I hired him was I was so impressed. Like I had him do a presentation and a couple of skill trainings and was just really impressed with his ability, not only to know you can know a sport, but to be able to teach it and explain it and communicate it is probably the most important piece outside of his character and his integrity joining our staff. And so it was really fun to watch him start to build relationships, right? See the game. And I had kind of been doing our serving and our passing, and I didn't really want to have that with me because I knew I was going to be all over the setters. And so I handed it over and he's run with it. We've, I think, outpassed and served every team but one that we've played. He's built awesome relationships with Leah and her crew of littles that we call them running around back there. And has now kind of added to some of the defensive stuff last week with our defense and our blocking. And so for me, I want it to be very collaborative, and he has given feedback in all aspects of the game and then really taken ownership of those two.
It really is tremendous. And by the way, before we continue this, we'll get to a break here in just a moment. We do now have the voice of Spartan Volleyball in the building, John Kreger.
Yes,
Give him a nice warm welcome, everybody. We'll bring him up here during the break in just a moment. But Matt, your background in volleyball, I mean, we talked about coaching at the club level, but where did you first interact with this game and find out that this was a passion of yours?
Yeah, probably a little bit before high school. I played multiple different sports growing up and then ended up playing football at the time, had a knee injury. Was like, okay, I'm done with football, had surgery at a young age, and then started playing volleyball. Had a really nice high school coach who became, and still to this day, a longtime mentor and best friend and nice part of my life. And I spent the first few years with him. And then he got me connected. He's actually a longtime founder in Orlando. He founded one of the first boys clubs in Orlando. So he's the actual volleyball guru that I got it from. And then just, with this sport, once you get into it and when you get in good environments, you take it and you run with it, and that really leads you.
Final questions. Matt, for you, your first year dealing with the Kristen Kelsay culture, program, staff, everything. We've talked about it some, but what are more of the unique elements that people aren't aware of that make this so special versus other spots that you've been in?
Yeah, it's the experience and the commitment for it. Can be a singular thing, like it can be a week where it's like, hey, we have to do this, but it's the commitment and the experience for the big thing, which is upholding our values and the going on the road and responding after we win, responding after we lose. And it's, can we show up tomorrow and be better? And when the answer is yes, it's really fun.
That's pretty special. And Kristen, last thing that people should know about Matt, the assistant coach, that maybe they're not aware of. Now the pause makes you kind of wonder what's coming down the pike.
No, my first thing was Matt's a really good golfer, and he's also teaching me how to golf, so that's great.
I could use tips as well. By the way,
it's really fun. He's a good coach. He's a good coach, firsthand over here.
Really good is generous. Yeah. Appreciate it.
No, but I just I think a lot of times I watch coaches, right? And I think I'd encourage you to watch Matt coach because he does it really, he does it at a really elite level with his interactions with the players, with the feedback to me he is a tremendous assistant. It doesn't matter to me if you've coached 10 years of Big Ten volleyball or none. Like his club teams, he coached 2 teams this spring, a 16 open team and a 17 open team. They were both top 5 in the country, doing both at one time, and won a open national championship at the 17s level. So it doesn't matter where or who or what you're coaching. Like if you know how to win, you know how to win, and Matt knows how to win.
That's tremendous. Everybody give a nice big thank you to assistant coach Matt Jackson. Thank you so much, Matt.
Thank you.
When you put up with my golf game.
Yeah. When you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local teams across the Midwest, from big league stadiums to the neighborhood ball field. Learn more at Meijer.com/community. We'll be back with more from the Kristen Kelsay Show, presented by One North Kitchen and Bar. You're on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
For you.
Hear that roar? That's the sound of Spartan Nation. And Dean Trailways is right there, every mile of the way. As the official ground transportation provider of Michigan State Athletics, we connect Spartans to championships. For every game, every practice, every victory, we deliver it. Elite service that powers the green and white. When you demand championship-level transportation, Dean Trailways is your winning drive. Become part of our team at deantrailways.com.
Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Show and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North Kitchen and Bar, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
Sometimes we're asked if you need to be a Spartan to be a member of Michigan State University Federal Credit Union. The answer is no. To be an MSU FCU member, you just need 3 things. 1, you love saving money and earning cash back. 2, you have a passion for supporting your community, just like we do. 3, when it comes to your future, you prefer to dream big. If this sounds like you, visit msufcu.org to get started. Cheer on MSU, we're totally on board with that too. Go green.
Welcome back to One North Kitchen and Bar in East Lansing, and welcome back to the Kristen Kelsay Show on the Spartan Media Network. I'm John Kreger. Better late than never. It's always fun being on a closed freeway. Thanks to Dalton Shetler for filling in. You can hear more of him, of course, all season long on Michigan State women's basketball broadcasts, and I encourage you to tune in and support those women athletes as well. We're here live from One North Kitchen and Bar, East Lansing, for all the Spartan Coaches radio shows. One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. I love that there is a group of people known as the Littles on your team, Coach, because I too am little. When you've covered volleyball for close to, say, 25 years, you get a crick in your neck from doing interviews with people that are about a foot and a half taller than you are.
Heels on matches.
So it is wonderful that there's a group called the Littles. And the leader of the Littles right now is a junior from St. Charles, Illinois, a sports performance kid coming out of that volleyball factory in the Chicagoland area, which, by the way, also developed one Kristen Kelsay.
It did. Yes.
And we're talking about number 1 in your program, Leah Schneider. Leah Schneider, thanks for joining us on the Kristen Kelsay Show. Our first question, as always, with athletes that we talk to, why Michigan State? What made you choose East Lansing?
I mean, it was probably from the very first call that I had with Kristen. You could just tell how much she loved this place and how much that this program has done for her. And that was just really important to me, to have a program that could set me up for a lot of success, not from a volleyball standpoint, but also as a person in general. And I think that just really drew me to this place. And I mean, Dan and Kirsty, when I talked to them too, you could tell how much they loved each other and how great of a relationship they had. And just building those was also really important to me and why I decided to come here.
What do you think? And you talk about the fact that Coach loves this place and the staff is great, but as you've adjusted to life here, what's one thing about campus and one thing about this program that really lets you know you made the right choice?
I would say the community, not just within the athletics program, but just everywhere, on campus. You could tell how much everybody loves this school. I mean, the place here already, there's so many people, and you could tell the love that they have for this place, and that's just been really awesome to see, and why I've honestly decided that I've made the right decision.
You are one of only 2 Spartans to have played every set of Spartan volleyball this season as you anchor the back line. How do you think your year's gone so far? Where are you at halfway through the season, and what in relation to what your goals were to start things?
Yeah, I think it's a completely different level than what I played at before I came here. And I think there's still a lot of learning that I have to do, but I think I've done a pretty solid job. I know I could always do better, and I'm excited to see how that's going to go in the next couple matches too.
She's very humble. She's doing a tremendous job.
She's doing a very good job of deflecting any
Yes.
kind of praise or anything. This is kind of what makes Leah really special, because if you watch her, I encourage you, when you all come out Friday to see the Spartans take on the Nebraska Huskers, watch Leah's eyes on the floor, because she locks in. And this absolutely humble player is the furthest thing from humble you could ever get when she's trying to dig an opponent's ball. But you clearly see it as a responsibility of yours to kind of anchor that back line, anchor the passing situations, and make your teammates better. Where do you think the back line is, and how's that been for you to just kind of grow into this role in the toughest volleyball conference in the country?
I think it definitely starts with the people that I'm surrounded with in the back row, for sure. And Carol, Bianca, Mo, Kai, whoever's back there, like, everyone knows their job, and we're all on the same page. Like, see ball, get ball, anything's up. Like, we know we got it, and we're just working as one big unit. And I think that's really special that everyone's on the same page, and we all know the goal that we need to have.
Last question for you. When you beat Michigan and Indiana, your passers took some of the Big Ten Conference's best outside hitters and made them look decidedly average. Both of Indiana's pin hitters and Allison Jacobs out of Michigan, and you stepped in. Is there something when you look at their stats and you realize that your passing in part is why they ended up frustrated? Do you take a sense of pride in that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. That definitely builds our confidence as well. And going to other matches, we know, like, we are a good passing team. Even if sometimes we do bad in practice, like, we know once we step on that stage, like, we've learned a lot in practice, and everything's just going to come easy when it comes onto the court.
Leah Schneider, good luck for the rest of the season. Thank you so much for sharing a little bit of yourself here with our audience at One North Kitchen and Bar. The Kristen Kelsay Show is presented by One North Kitchen and Bar. We'll be back with more after a break on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Business, Billy.
Spartan fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes these moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is the official beer of Michigan State Athletics. So crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer.
From the biggest of the big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go!
Run, James!
No. First base!
Go, go, go! Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Show and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North Kitchen and Bar, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
Welcome back to One North Kitchen and Bar. One North Kitchen and Bar presents the Kristen Kelsay Radio Show. And I'm John Kreger, along with the coach, Kristen Kelsay. And by the way, to all of you here at One North, thank you so much for coming out and representing Spartan Volleyball and for being a part of our family and supporting this show. You know, starting this 2025 football season, One North Kitchen and Bar is your game day location for away game watch parties. Join us to watch Spartan football and then listen live to game day radio hosts as they break down the game. It's the spot to be when the Spartans aren't in East Lansing. It's One North Kitchen and Bar. It is time now for Alumni Hall Trivia. Today's winner will receive tickets to the next home game and a $25 gift card to Alumni Hall. And we want to thank all of you who take the chance for participating in Alumni Hall Trivia. Alumni Hall, your ultimate Spartan shopping experience. Now, we've got a mic here, so if you hear the question and you think you know the answer, come on up to the mic and we'll see if we can give you a prize. Michigan State swept, God, that sounded good, number 20 Indiana last time out. By the way, they also swept Michigan. Have we mentioned that?
We did mention that. We listened to your match point call, actually.
I just felt like I felt like mentioning it again. And again, Michigan State swept number 20 Indiana last time out. It was the first Spartan sweep over a ranked opponent since MSU swept which opponent? Bonus points if you can tell me where in the season that was. So, when was the last time Michigan State swept a ranked opponent? If you think you have the answer, come on up to the microphone. We'll see if we can give you a prize.
Good job, Alumni Hall. This is a tough one.
It's a tough one. This one.
This is good.
And I think the legend that is Maggie Hudson helped come up with that trivia question.
The legend, Maggie Hudson.
She's a legend, absolute legend. By the way, another note: the Spartans swept Michigan. Okay, moving through as we wait for our Alumni Hall trivia answers to come in. You're at the halfway point of the season. I can't believe we're already saying that. But as you talk about building culture, as you talk about growing things here, where are you and what's your thoughts on the first half with where this team is at?
You know, the first thing that comes to mind is we're just like, we're not done. You know, we have I think the best volleyball we have is still in front of us. And there are some teams in this conference, there are some teams in the country who are playing their best volleyball right now. And we are not there yet. And I think that's really exciting. I think they're still pretty hungry, that there's a lot of growth for us still to have. And so they do a really good job. And I think our staff does a really great job of moving to the next one and to the next need. And, you know, we talk about excellence as a moving target, right? And so as soon as Indiana hit 067. Okay, well, guess what? You've got another challenge. Nebraska's hitting 367 on the year. So welcome to the Big Ten, right? There's just never a night that there's not a challenge presented. And we know we've got some tough matches ahead of us. We've got a long streak left. We have a pretty big road streak in front of us. So, you know, we're not looking back. We're just looking forward. And yesterday was maybe one of our best practices we had all season. And for that to happen after a great weekend, it shows me that they're hungry and that they're ready.
So I know this is difficult because we have players in the building. But it's something I've been interested in as we've gone through the season. You came in, and I'm sure you had goals for season number 1.
Yeah.
Where you wanted the team to be, where you wanted the culture to be, where you wanted the program to be. Is there anything that you look at and your staff has looked at when you sit down in your meetings and you go, whoa, we're ahead of the game here. This team has given us more, and we're further along than maybe I thought we would be at the halfway point?
You know, it's a hard question for me to answer because there weren't any numerical goals, right? Or expectations for this team. You know, I had 6 athletes walk in August that I had never seen play live. So I said, I'm not going to be the one that puts a ceiling on this group. And so I think having that mindset of, hey, we are going to be as good as we can be. And whenever our last match is, if it's, you know, hopefully December volleyball, and if it's earlier than that, we will be playing our best volleyball. We will have squeezed every ounce because I only get so many matches left to Coach Avi Duzema. I only get so many matches left with Danny Courtley. And so we're racing time. We're not just competing against Nebraska and Maryland and Michigan. We're competing against time. How fast can we teach these athletes to be better volleyball players and better young women? And so if we really have stayed there. And so, yes, we're excited about the success that we've had, but success looks more like just wins and losses. And I think if anything, I'm most proud of who we are and how they compete.
I love that answer. And it's going to be a fun second half of the season. You know, we're live with the head coach of the Spartans, Kristen Kelsay, and today's show is presented by One North Kitchen and Bar. We'll be back in just a moment. You're listening to the Kristen Kelsay Show.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the Seat View feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Hear that roar? That's the sound of Spartan Nation. And Dean Trailways is right there, every mile of the way. As the official ground transportation provider of Michigan State Athletics, we connect Spartans to championships. For every game, every practice, every victory, we deliver it. Elite service that powers the green and white. When you demand championship-level transportation, Dean Trailways is your winning drive. Become part of our team at deantrailways.com.
The Spartan Media Network when you need it. That's right. The Spartan Media Network now is on podcast platforms. Did you miss a MSU Coaches Show or want to check out exclusive interviews? Well, check out the Spartan Media Network and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you get your podcasts. The Spartan Media Network, now at your fingertips.
Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Show and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North Kitchen and Bar, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
We are back with more Spartan volleyball chat on the Kristen Kelsay Show, presented by our friends at One North Kitchen and Bar. And frankly, folks, you'll want to join us for the Michigan Sports Brief every weekday on all of our Spartan Media Network affiliates. It's presented by Frankenmuth Insurance. Find a local independent agent near you by visiting www.fmins.com. That's Frankenmuth Insurance. Okay, it's time. By the way, we're still waiting for someone to try the Alumni Hall trivia question. Again, that trivia question again is Michigan State swept number 20 Indiana last time out. Was the first Spartan sweep over a ranked opponent since MSU swept which opponent? I'm going to give you a hint. It happened in 2017. So the last time we had a sweep over a ranked opponent, it was in 2017. Give me that opponent, you win a prize. Time to take some questions from the audience, Coach. First one, it was great to see so many players come back for Alumni Weekend. Can you tell us how special it was to play in Jennison Fieldhouse, to be a part of that, and to see so many people come back and want to be a part of that weekend?
Oh, man, it was such a memorable weekend. I think not only for the alumni who came back, but also for our team and them really getting to see our value of Spartan family come to life. We had over 70 alumni, right, Mary Jo? 70 alumni came back over 3 days, and we were able to honor two of our historic teams. We were able to have them talk to our team before each one of those matches. A serve and pass Saturday morning where alumni from every team got to come. We had probably 30 to 40 alumni that morning share their stories with our team. And so it's one thing to have people come back, and it was really, playing in Jennison was really special. But for me, the united, the able to unite the past and the present from both parties, I think was the best part of it.
And so many wanted to be a part of what you're building here. Largest ever turnout for an alumni weekend at Michigan State. And I think that speaks a lot to what you and your staff and Director of Volleyball Operations, Shane Wilkinson, have done to reconnect alumni with this program. Next question. I've been loving the MSU Volleyball social media pages. Can you tell us about who's behind them, give you a chance to brag on your staff.
Yeah.
And how they come up with some of the things. I love the mic'd up segments.
Awesome.
But let us know who turns the knobs and dials on social media.
So we are very fortunate as a program. I have a full-time social media and creative content director, and that is Miss Eni Lee over here. Eni, you want to wave your hand? Yes. I met Eni actually back when I was coaching club in Lincoln, and she was a student at UNL, and she was doing some creative stuff for the club. And I told her, I was like, dude, you were a nutrition major, right? Chemistry, nutrition. And I was like, listen, go if you want to be a doctor, right? If you want to go do that. But if you ever want to have a career in this, like, you're pretty dang good. And I've worked at 3 other universities, and she's really humble. Okay. Grows her platform, watched firsthand her develop into just really a badass creative media content creator, and was honestly my first call when I got the job. Knowing that I had this role, I called Eni. She had just graduated, and I was like, you want to come to Michigan? You want to come to East Lansing with me? And she's crushing it. TikTok, social media, Twitter, Instagram, the video of them trying all the international food, that was her idea. She did the whole thing. I mean, has built the relationship with the team, and also has marketed our story in our first year at such an incredible personal level that I hope you can feel the authenticity through the screen.
Eni, welcome to East Lansing. Thank you for being a part of the Spartan Volleyball family. We think we've got an answer for the Alumni Hall trivia question. What's your name?
Cheryl Bartholic.
Okay, Cheryl, who was the last time MSU swept a ranked opponent?
All right, let's give it a try. I'm going to go with Missouri State.
You are absolutely correct.
Good job, Cheryl.
Kristen Kelsay was on the bench. It was the last time MSU volleyball was in the NCAA tournament. In the first round, played in Omaha, Nebraska.
Yep.
The next night, we beat the Creighton Blue Jays and went on to the Elite Eight. Let's take a pause now, come back with our final bit of the Kristen Kelsay Show. We'll be back with more of the Kristen Kelsay Show, brought to you by One North Kitchen and Bar, and you are on the Spartan Media Network.
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Show and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North Kitchen and Bar, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
The post-career day press conference, brought to you by Progressive.
Anthony, can you tell us what happened during career day?
I'm a biomedical researcher. The kids just weren't impressed.
How did you feel when your son called in the backup?
Embarrassed. And I knew it would be a fireman. It's always a fireman. It's cliche, but a crowd favorite. He had an axe and everything. I can't compete with that.
And will the fireman be helping your son with his science fair project?
Hope not. I'm literally a scientist.
Like it or not, sometimes you need a backup. That's why there's Progressive to protect your home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Spartan fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes these moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is the official beer of Michigan State Athletics. So crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer.
Thank you for joining us and the Spartan fans here at One North. This is the Kristen Kelsay Show, presented by One North Kitchen and Bar. Listen, don't fumble your game day plans. One North Kitchen and Bar delivers tailgate packages that are a touchdown every single time. Call 517-900-4MSU. That's 517-900-4MSU, or visit onenorthdining.com today. Let them take care of your tailgate. Nebraska, the Cornhuskers, #1 in the country, doing Nebraska things right now. Coming into the Breslin Center, I know you like challenges like that. And I know it's going to be a special day at Jennison Field or at Breslin Center on Friday night. And I know the program has a lot of cool things coming up about that game. Can you tell us a little bit about what's coming up also on Sunday against the Maryland Terrapins? Your thoughts on the Huskers and a special weekend as well on Sunday night with our pink match.
Yeah, Nebraska's undefeated and they're playing some really, really good volleyball. And we're excited. It's another challenge, right? Coming off of the win on Sunday, I think there's no better place that our team can be in heading into Friday. And one thing I really love about our team is they're excited about it. They're excited about the challenge. And like I said, we had a great day of practice yesterday. So, respect everyone, but we're going to apply pressure and we're going to push and play Spartan volleyball, and good things can happen. If you are planning on being there Friday, we are already at a record sales pre-sale. We will probably break our attendance record of 8,700. So spread the word. We'd love to see as much green. It's a go green, wear green. So wear your green. Okay, it's going to look like a Christmas tree. Fine, all good. Wear your green. We're really excited. But yeah, almost 8,000 pre-sale. So get there early, okay? And then on Sunday, we've got a tall task, probably the most physical Maryland team I've seen, some really elite setter we're playing against. And Sunday is our breast cancer awareness that you get in free with a donation to our Spartan Warrior Kit. So we've listed that on the website, on social media. It's tea, lemon candy, tumblers, unscented lotion, lip balm. We put together kits that we then bring to people who are battling breast cancer. And so Sunday, wear your pink, free admission for anyone who brings a donation. We're hoping to finish off this homestand on a strong note before we head on the road.
And I know you're entirely thrilled to be a part of supporting people that are going through breast cancer, especially with those kits. It's a very special thing to connect with people in that situation.
It is. Our team's fired up about it.
Well, Kristen Kelsay, a great first half of the season, an outstanding win over Michigan, and an outstanding win over Indiana as well. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of another outstanding radio show and a great audience here at One North Kitchen and Bar as
Thank
well.
you for coming, everyone. We appreciate it. We'll see you on Friday. Wear your green.
Thank you very much, Kristen Kelsay. And there are some other thank yous to send out before we head off the air today. First of all, the staff here at One North Kitchen and Bar for keeping everybody fed and for helping us with the Kristen Kelsay Show. Want to thank Chris Ordaway. He's our engineer today. Matt Contreras Valenzuela is our producer. Everybody involved in the video stream as well. Leah Schneider, Matt Jackson, and everybody here that came out and made this program what it is. Thanks for supporting Spartan Volleyball. Nebraska, Friday night, 6:50 pregame, 7 o'clock first serve right here. I'm John Kreger. Thanks for being with us. Go State. We'll see you Friday night.
You've been listening to the Kristen Kelsay Show on the Spartan Media Network from Playfly Sports. The Kristen Kelsay Show is presented by One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. The Kristen Kelsay Show is also brought to you by Farm Bureau, Michigan's insurance company, MSU FCU, Spartan fans dream big with MSU Federal Credit Union, Meyer, supporting hundreds of sports teams across the Midwest, and Alumni Hall, your ultimate Spartan shopping experience. The Kristen Kelsay Show has been a presentation of Playfly Sports in partnership with Michigan State Athletics. All rights reserved. Join us next time, right here on the Spartan Media Network.